Hey guys, and welcome back. So today I have two brand new products that just hit the shelves. It is by Physicians Formula. I just got my hands on these two. It is their extension of their butter collection. So I got the butter eyeshadow palette and one of their butter lip creams. I am gonna get started with the eyeshadow palette first and do lips at the end. So this is the new butter eyeshadow palette, and I got the shade Tropical Days. This eyeshadow palette has 12 shades inside of it, and it retails for $16.95. The price point honestly doesn't really surprise me. Physicians Formula is a little bit of a higher price point at the drugstore. It also all depends on where you purchase it. The price is going to differ quite a bit. If you find it at, say, Ulta, their website, it's going to be a little bit higher than, say, you find it at Walmart. It's going to be a few dollars cheaper. I have not yet seen this one launch in store, so I can't speak to this price point. I'm just speaking in terms of their foundation and their bronzers. I have found that it is a few dollars cheaper if you find it at Walmart. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't think they've launched officially in all their stores. I have to double check on that. I'm definitely very excited to dip into this. I have been waiting for them to launch a butter eyeshadow palette. And you guys, it does not disappoint in the scent. The scent is the exact same as all of their other butter collections. It smells tropical. It has that same very distinct smell, and I love it. So I definitely want to start with some swatches of this and get an idea of how it's going to look outside of the pan. So I'm kind of sad I'm going to be ruining that very beautiful buttery pattern, but it must be done. And also on the back, it does have names and numbers here. So I'm going to go in order 1 through 12 and swatch these out. Number 1 is called Barefoot in Brazil, which honestly really doesn't show up because it's a very soft kind of cream shade. Number 2 is called White Sands. Number 3 is Coastal Chic. Number 4 is called Tan Lines. And number 5 is called Sightseeing. Ooh, that one swatched really long. Number 6 is called Heat Wave. Number 7 is Sand Dunes. Number 8 is called Coco Loco. And number 9 is called Ready for Rio, which swatches a lot better than it felt. It's a little bit chunky over here, but it felt really rough for some reason going through it on my fingertip. A little bit strange. Number 10 is called Pure Pressure. Number 11 is Rolling Tides. Ooh, that was a little bit disappointing. That was that blue. And the last shade we have is number 12, which is called Island Hopping. Ooh, that was a little bit of a disappointing end. But here's the entire palette swatched out, all 12 shades. I have to get in closer to show you guys. The one that I said felt really rough is just flaking off. And it's also leaving like little patches that didn't leave any pigment on it. So I wanted to include those swatches just so you guys could get a good idea how they look a little bit outside of the pan. So I am gonna scoot you guys a little bit closer and we're gonna start diving into this palette, seeing what kind of a look we can create today. I still have very high hopes for this. I'm not gonna count it out because of the swatches. It's all about the application. You guys already know the drill. I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. So I just went ahead and worked that all over the lid. That way we have a really good base for these eyeshadows to be applied on. I think since we have this shade, I'm gonna use it to set the primer today. This was the shade number 1, Barefoot in Brazil, which is a very soft cream shade. It really didn't show up when I swatched it. And I just thought, why not use it to set the lid? So I'm just pressing that powder all over the lid with my Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush. And then you guys kind of know how I like to do it on eyeshadow testing days. I like to layer on as many eyeshadows as I can. So I think I'm gonna go into this one over here, which I think was shade number 3. Oh man, that has a lot of fallout. Drizzling. I'm taking that shade on my Sigma E40 brush and I'm just gonna work this through the crease. It's a very soft pink shade and I felt like it wasn't really gonna do much, but I just really want to dip into as many shadows as I can just to see how they perform. And I kind of figured this much. It doesn't really show up. Good attempt, but never mind. Definitely don't need to do that step. So what I want to do next is take the shade over here, which is called Sand Dunes. I'm going to take the same brush. This is the E40. So I'm going to begin by taking this shade all throughout the crease and just start blending it out. There we go. That has some pigment. So that actually blended in really easily. I'm going to dip into it just a little bit more and see if I can vamp up the color a tiny bit. Just again, working it through the crease. I then want to take the shade over here called Heat Wave. Man, that is very powdery. And I'm going to be working the shade in slightly below where we put that crease shade of Sand Dunes. And I'm working it in the crease and a little bit here on the outer V. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting a little bit more of a punch just by how much pigment it picked up and how much I had to brush off. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit more. Let's see if we can build that up. There we go. One thing I can say right away is I'm very happy I didn't do my foundation first because there is quite a heavy amount of fallout. I'm thinking I'm gonna wipe it away just super quickly with a brush, like so. That way we can see if the other shades have any kind of fallout as well. It's definitely looking a little bit messy out here, but I'm gonna save the cleanup for last. I'll go in with some makeup remover. So then the next shade I wanna take is number 8, Coco Loco. And I'm gonna be using this shade on my Morphe Y19 brush. And I'm gonna be working this in the outer V. Just really blending it out to deepen things up right out here. I went ahead and dipped into it one more time and I'm just applying a little extra just to see if we can build that color up just a little bit more. And this one again is doing that same kind of raining fallout thing underneath the eyes. So far I've only been working in matte shades into the crease and the outer V area, but they have been working out to be really beautiful. I don't see any weird kind of skipping. They are very pigmented. It looks a little bit weird right here, but that's because of all the fallout. I think I'll go ahead and try to dust that away again. Get rid of that brown pigment and then see how we do with some shimmers. So I've been seriously debating how I want to do this with the shimmery shades. I've been debating doing a cut crease, but I know most of you guys don't really do a cut crease every single day. You just don't have time for it. So I'm thinking I'll just go in with one of the shimmery shades as is and see how they perform on their own. Because with a cut crease, they have a little bit of a better base to be a little bit bolder. So I want to take the shade called Peer Pressure, number 10. And then, because I do this every single time, I'm not going to do it any different today. I'm going to take a little bit of setting spray. And I'm taking this on my MAC 248 brush. And I'm going to work this as the all over the lid shade. And just packing that shade on. And you know what? I'm very happy I didn't count it out because of the swatch, because it is going on really pigmented. But again, there is heavy fallout with this shade. My brush was kind of running out of setting spray for a minute, and as a dry brush, it does not pick up the pigment quite as well, so I definitely recommend giving it a little spritz just to give it a little bit of help. And then I need to go in with the shade, I think it was number 9, Ready for Rio? Yeah, that's a shade. And I use my color switch, and I'm going in with the same brush, the MAC 248. And then I'm also gonna give that a little bit of a spritz. And then I wanna try to pack that on this inner, like 1/3 area of the lid. You know what? I think because I put the purple all the way down, I'm gonna try to fix that. I'm gonna take a little bit of concealer, and this is gonna be like a cut crease just because I did put that purple all the way over. I'm hoping this works. I haven't done this before. Doing like a half cut crease already on top of the lid color. So I'm gonna take some concealer, try to be very gentle, placing that down. I'm gonna place the concealer exactly where I want to place that shade number 9. I don't want to take it in too far. I just kind of want it to be like almost like an inner corner highlight that went all the way. So I'm gonna do it to both sides. And don't worry about the edges. We can always pat over it with a little bit more purple. So just bring it into where you want it. And then I'm going to be taking that shade Ready for Real on my MAC 248. Start pressing that on where I put that concealer. Just fading it into that purple. And that actually looks really pretty. I like that now. I think it was the purple that just wasn't letting it really stick. But I don't know if you guys can see this. It is like a crumply kind of mess in this eyeshadow pan after though. It is a very weird texture that it has inside of the pan. I don't know if it's just mine. Maybe it was a mistake during pressing. It is just very strange. I'm gonna take just the tiniest bit more of Coco Loco and kind of clean up the edges where I put that purple down. Just blend into it. Because I realize now with the look I created, I just want it a little bit darker out here too. And then you guys already know the drill. I'm gonna go into the shade called Heat Wave, taking my Sigma, what is it, E17 water liner brush. But like always, I'm gonna use this to just go around the shimmery shades and just help define things just a little bit more. It just helps create a better definition between the crease colors and the shimmer shades we put on the lid. And oh my god, it looks ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna take some makeup remover and I'm gonna clean up underneath the eyes here. So incredibly messy, but I just left it at the end there because I was kind of working through with some of the matte shades again. So I knew those would have fallout as well, so I didn't clean up yet. But geez, look like I have a black eye right now. Ah, there we go. It looks so much better with all of that fallout gone. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a face base off camera really quickly, and I'll be back in just 2 seconds so we can finish up the lower lash line together. All right, but now we're gonna finish up on the lower lash line, and I'm gonna do the same kind of steps I did on top with the matte shades. I'm gonna go in first to the shade called Sand Dunes. Taking that on my medium eye shader, and I'm gonna run this all the way across. I'm gonna try to be very careful because of all the fallout in which happened when I was applying it up on the top lid. So honestly, I am kind of nervous. You gotta make sure you really tap off that brush. Next, I'll be going into the shade called Heat Wave. And this one I'm also gonna blend out all the way across on the lower lash line. Just help create that warmth a little bit more. And then lastly, I'm gonna take the shade Coco Loco on my Luxie 141. And this one I'm only gonna keep in this outer 1/3 of the eye. Just blending that through and blending it up to meet with the outer V. That way everything kind of blends together. All right, and now let's finish things up all the way. I'm gonna take a little bit of mascara. This is the NYX Worth the Hype. I'm just gonna go through and coat the bottom and top lashes. And then I'm gonna pop on some lashes. These are the Salon Perfect 614 Wispies. They're a very nice natural lash. And here we have it, the lashes have been applied. Now I do have one more product to test out. I got my hands on the brand new Butter Lip Cream SPF 15. It retails for $7.95, and I picked up the shade Acai Berry, which is definitely not the right color for the eye look in which I created today, but I only purchased this one color. I wasn't expecting to do anything really elaborate with the eyes. I don't know why. So this is the color we're going in with. But here's what Acai Berry looks like on the lips. And this product I was actually testing out before I sat down to film. I've been testing it out just to get a better idea on how I feel about the product. Since with the lips it's a little bit more than just the first impressions, it's about wear time and everything like that. But now that I have this on the lips, I want to give you guys my final opinions about both of these products. And I'm going to get started with the lip product since I put this on last. So this lip cream does have some pros and cons to it. And I'll start off with the pros. So the pros is that it does have SPF in it, so it's gonna help protect your lips against the sun. Another pro is that it is very hydrating on the lips. It feels very creamy without being sticky. And I suppose I'll include this as a pro, so when this kind of glossy look goes away and it's between like 30 to 45 minutes that I see that this color kind of goes away, it leaves a very pretty stain. Like here, I had the swatch on for just a little bit and you guys can see the stain that it left. So it leaves a little bit of a lighter shade than what you initially had on, which does look really pretty on the more everyday kind of lip look days. And on top of that, I do think that it does look and sit very beautifully. And then to give you guys the cons to this product, I do have to say that it is kind of messy. So I've been using it just a handful of times, and the first like 1 or 2 times it's not going to be this messy, but as you keep using it, it just seems like it mushes down. And it just seems like it goes everywhere. So that is pretty unfortunate, but I mean, that's the only real con that I have discovered. Other than that, I do think it is a very pretty formula. You just have to be aware when you are looking on their website, it doesn't give any kind of description about this product. It doesn't say anything except from that it is a cream with SPF and it's a luxurious blend. That's all it says on their website, and no real good pictures. It's just a picture of the tube and a chunk of the lipstick kind of smushed out as a big swatch. That's all you get. So when purchasing it online, you have to keep in mind that it's not going to be a lipstick. It is a lip cream that dries into a stain. I really wish they would have put that on their website, because at first I was a little bit disappointed because I was like, ooh, this is not what I expected. So I just think that's kind of where they failed a little bit describing it on their website. But if this is a formula that intrigues you, that is a little bit more creamy, more hydrating on the lips, I do think it is really nice. Aside from the messy factor, for that, you know, if I were giving it a rating, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 4 stars. Because of the messy factor, you have to be a little bit more careful working it. And then for the eyeshadow palette. So this one was a little bit torn as well. I think it's a little bit of a theme with these 2 new products. They're a little bit messy. As you guys saw, I had a lot of fallout happening underneath the eyes. It looked like I had a black eye. And you should have seen my desk and my pants. They were covered in fallout because you swirl your brush around and it just goes raining. And then you tap it off and it just powders. So I know a lot of you guys hate fallout. So if that is the case for you, this is not a palette you would enjoy because of that. But if you're not someone who really cares about fallout, you don't mind doing your eyes first and doing the cleanup underneath. It was a really beautiful pigmented palette. I did get a really cool look that I actually really love how it turned out. So I'm actually very happy with that aspect of it. And some of the colors that I wasn't expecting to work actually did work, like the purple and this really rough kind of shade over here that feels really strange. They don't show up when you swatch it, but I mean, that's why I don't determine how a shadow works by a swatch, because it applies so differently on the eyes than it does as a swatch. So I'm so happy I actually went in with those 2 shades so I was able to test it out. So I mean, again, I would probably give this a 3 out of 4 stars because of the messy aspect. And for this exit, I have to change this lip color, which I'm wiping it away right now. And so this is what the color looks like as just a stain, which is very pretty. It does look very beautiful, so when it dries down, gonna still have a very pretty lip color. It's just a little bit too bright for the eyeshadow look I did. There we go. I just went ahead and threw on my favorite lip combo, Sunday Fun Day, with the Most on top. Ooh, so beautiful. All right, but that is gonna conclude today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my review on both the new additions to the Butter collection. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell button. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.